Hello everyone, Firestarter here, and today I have something a little bit different for you. Now, normally I don't really do casts, but my internet has been kind of shaky, and I decided to, give it a shot. So yeah, it is my first time, so do bear with me. This is most likely going to suck, but I'll try to minimize that as much as possible. So yeah, anyways, I asked Dirty to send me some replays because he's been playing some 1v1 rank lately. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying. He's been playing some rank lately and sent me some nice games. I took a quick look at this one. It seemed really interesting. So without further ado, let's introduce our players. We have Mr.Kim playing with what I believe is a Eurocore deck on the red side, and Dirty D playing a NORAD motorized, I think. Could be wrong, but it's definitely NORAD. So we'll see what they do. Could probably just speed up the deployment phase, I guess. I don't know. Looks like Mr. Kim going for a very heavy helo start. Whereas Dirty only has like a DAP and a Kiowa or Kiowa. I still don't know how to pronounce these things. You'll have to forgive me. This is just taking a while, I guess. 3 minutes already, wow. Alright, let's slow it down and see how our player. Excuse me, forgot to turn off my Steam interface. That's how professional I am, so. Yeah, I'm not that good, I know. Both players just going for standard defensive play in Foxtrot, it seems like. Not very heavy investment. Not much anti-air as well, except this Gepard here. So the bulk of the battle is most likely going to be in this area. The DAP engaging the helos. For that, there's just too many of them. Plus with that Tiger supporting, takes it out. He does a good job of mopping those up though. But the A helos are sort of pointless at this point on. No. It looks like this Tiger is going to intercept this little force here. Oh, Avenger takes him down though, so these Bisons could probably just move in. Decides to unload them, however. I'll try to keep the camera kind of in this position sorta, so you can see the majority of the battle going on. And if I'm like zooming in and out too drastically or whatever, just yeah, let me know, I guess. Though Mr. Kim not really putting any defenses in Charlie. I mean, look at the map right now. It's very weird. He did lose most of his forces in Delta, but has the presence in the town. And he's trying to push into Alpha, but this whole side here is just completely exposed. And we'll see if he manages to push in with us, but so far it doesn't seem like it's going that well for him, especially with this massive firepower in the back. Yeah, completely wipes out that attack. Looks like we have a gunship sneaking around as well. See how much damage he can do. And of course the Cassiopes on the side. It's not a ranked game without Cassiopes, I guess. Although, big mistake I think though, capping Bravo is something you want to do right off the bat on this map, since this line of reinforcement is just really vital, especially in this case considering Charlie is completely abandoned, since most of the forces went straight for Alpha and yeah, that didn't end well for them. And it looks like Dirty's managed to get some navies in this delta area, but lacking support, I doubt they're gonna be very successfully taking that back alone. Mr. Kim not really bringing out much to deal with us. Don't know what he's spending his points on. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Bravo finally being capped, so Dirty could probably get some reinforcements and that crucial 2-point CV as well. He has a great advantage in Charlie and even has the possibility of taking Delta back. Just a nice presence all over the map, whereas Mr. Kim is really scattered here in Charlie. But he's firmly controlling Delta, so it's kind of even at this point, I guess. These Falshy makers are just going down to the massive fire support here. They're not even the 90s version. I don't know what anyone would use the basic ones, but I don't know. That's just me. I don't really play Eurocore that much anyways. Wouldn't know. We have some Canadian rifles trying to take Delta back now. Which is a nice blob here, but yeah, they're kind of unsupported, no AA and such. But in a 1v1 situation, you can bluff most of the time. Especially if you know that your opponent doesn't really play very air heavy. Well, of course, there's no way of him knowing that now, but I don't know, it's just a random thought, I guess. We'll see if they manage to take Delta back. And the action has kind of been quieted down here. It's a nice line of tanks. I like this, watching over the open. But I guess Dirty's just focusing on taking Delta back at the moment. Foxtrot always static. Not much happening there. And with good reason. I mean, the reinforcement line is pretty long and it's kind of a choke point with this town and the forest there, so it's not that easy to push. Although I've seen some good pushes happen on those zones, they can decide the game sometimes. But in a majority of the cases, the fighting is usually in Delta and Charlie anyway, so I don't know. Unless you somehow manage to lose your spawn, but that's an entirely different story. And this gunship slowly creeping up. Question is, does he get the CV? Doesn't look like it. But the CV did reveal itself, yeah, and there we go, the marker on him. So it's very likely that we're gonna see some CV sniping going on. Then again, it's not ranked if there's no CV sniping. It's just the truth. Mr. Kim taking a CV to deny that bleeds. You can see that Dirty is caught up on him +3. That's really huge, especially at this stage. Mr. Kim is really down on forces. He needs to stabilize this front, and if he can maintain Delta, he can win in the long run. But that point bleed is pretty big, so this should probably counterbalance that. And we have, what is this? Oh, just a Fuchs sneaking through. Nothing too exciting so far. Well, I definitely think more pressure should have been applied to Charlie in this case. If you can cap out this town and just put like a lot of stuff in this forest, especially this forest as well. He has this huge tank line he can sort of space out. Would be easy to fortify Charlie, but then again, I haven't played this game, so I don't really know what he's thinking. I guess he's just trying to take Delta back, which is smart, but you could always just fortify Charlie, force your opponent to go for that, invest a lot of points, and you can kind of cut off along this road into the forest here and here, since your opponent is just more likely going to defend this town and this forest area here. But then again, I'm a scrub and I don't know what I'm talking about, so never take me seriously. That's the most solid advice I can give you. And there's that deagle. So it's just gonna fly out of the map and bomb that CV, I think. Question is, does he get it? Since it's in the buildings, it can just easily teleport magically. Yep, CV manages to dodge that, although I don't know why there's fire here, but that CV went past it. Never mind, doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to find stupid things to talk about, I guess, since it's kind of slowed down so far. But we have this interesting position now. Mr. Kim is kind of pinned down, and Charlie needs to mop up these pockets here. But he's looking solid in Delta, though he's very, very overextended and unsupported. I mean, there's absolutely no anti-air or tanks of any sorts here. Which makes sense since all his efforts are going towards Charlie. It's a much more vital zone, and he kind of has the positioning here, which allows him to sort of bluff, make his opponent think that there's a lot more here. Since if we just switch to Dirty's side, yeah, you can see that there's nothing in Delta that he can see. And looks like we have a probing assault in Foxtrot as well. Managed to pop some Jaegers down in this town. Probing with a nice combined arms push. Don't know what this Fox is doing though. Beats me. Looks like these tanks can really move across. I mean, there's not much stopping them now. There's no ATGMs or tanks at all, except this AGS that's on the way. And of course the Deagle. We'll see if he manages to score a hit in those. That can be devastating even to tanks. Will miss, however. And I like that he's decided to cross across this bridge now. If that's what he's going for, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know what he's doing. The DAP, however, will go down. Yeah, it looks like he's just going back again. And we have more forces building up in Charlie, so it looks like Dirty's gonna try and punch back in again. But this is kind of draining his attention at the moment. Although the CV is kind of in a good spot, even if he manages to come across these roads, I don't think he'll easily spot that. Yeah, never mind. I was wrong. CV has been spotted, so it will most likely go down unless 30 can pull it back in time. Doesn't look like he's noticed that though, so yeah, CV will go down. Yeah, it will definitely go down. But we do have a push happening here now. There's a lot of Pioneers and Canadian Rifles trying to take back this forest, still maintaining control of this town, which is a pretty key position, since it allows you so many flanking maneuvers into both Delta and Charlie if he decides to push there, I guess. Losing Foxtrot, however, can be a bit annoying, especially if your opponent is consistently pumping troops there, then you have to do the same. So we'll see how much advantage Mr. Kim takes off of that. Still a static defense here, I mean, there's not much going on. Some tanks trying to take that Foxtrot. And it should be good enough to deal with that Leopard. Because that Gepard's not going to do much besides just stun the tanks. The AGS, however, does go down. There we go, just the Spags stun locking tanks. It's a bit insane, I think, but MBT manages to take it out. And that Leo one is only on 3 HP, so it also should be pretty easy to mop that one up. Although Legion coming in now, especially in a forest and town environment, those are going to prove very deadly to these tanks. Without the infantry support, you don't really want to move up that blindly. Yeah, there we go, MBT goes down. The Leopard will most likely, if he gets in range, so he wants to stay away. And yeah, so much for them. So while this is happening here, I mean, Delta's pretty much a stalemate as well for the time being. There's a lot of infantry here, and this foothold just gonna buy him some time. And he is at a +2 though, so that's pretty massive. Never mind, just +1 now. Although Mr. Kim's gonna take a CV of his own, most likely get a CV for Delta as well. And if he can still maintain Foxtrot, there's a chance that he can come back in this game. Just have to wait and see. Okay, let's see what's happening here again. Navy SEALs will be a very good counter to those Jaegers, especially with the Pioneers as well. And there's not much else other than infantry here. So it looks like Foxtrot will go back to blue. Meanwhile, there's a small skirmish here with some light tanks just firing at each other. Looks like an M8 AGS went down. I don't know exactly to what, but it doesn't really matter. And we also have some infantry sneaking across the hotel. So now the tables have kind of turned here. Yeah, there's no more red units except the CV and these Jaegers that are about to die. A horrible, horrible death. But it looks like Mr. Kim is focusing in Delta now, trying to push out Dirty completely and take that zone for himself. In the meantime, pushing at the bottom with this Leos. And once again, not really much AA, except this Mistral here and this Mistral here. But I don't think Dirty's really taking advantage of that. Most likely because he doesn't know that. That's the beauty of watching other people play, is you know everything and you think you're so smart, but you know, it's not always like that. It looks like Dirty forced to pull back. And I like how he has nothing but recon. A little laugh scouts and Bradleys are really good. I don't know he's using the basic one though. I mean the what was it? I don't know the name of it. The one with 28 AP. It is 75 points, but that thing is just absolute beast though. Could have killed these Leos really easily all by itself. Yeah, these Leos just fast moving into various cones of fire. That's just not gonna end well for them. Especially since they can't see the scout, I don't think. Yep, it's completely stealth. Oh my god, that is just brutal. Side and rear armor. That's just a waste of points, to be honest. Wow, that was 2 Leos and Yak Panzer. I mean, come on. Still a blob here of infantry and this Cassiope sneaking past, but they're gonna be spotted, so they're not gonna do anything. Let's see it from this perspective. There's some infantry here. Foxtrot firmly under control of blue. So if he wanted to, he could most likely do some crazy maneuver here and just cap hotel, you know, to buy him some time or something. But he's on the advantage, +1 and 250 points already to Mr. Kim's 71. So Mr. Kim has to step his game up so far, because he's definitely disadvantaged at the moment. I mean, he will put his CV down in Delta, which will neutralize the tick, but then he has to catch up a lot of points if he wants to win this game. And just a lot of units in general sneaking across. I mean, we have this AMX-10 managed to sneak past this hole here in Alpha. We'll see if he manages to see the CV or intercept some reinforcements. That is also big as well, especially in a 1v1 where every unit matters. Not saying they don't matter in other types of games, but in 1v1 especially. But he will go down to the Erixus, so not much from that. These Leos are in a really nice position, but once again they're just unsupported and very overextended as well. If he maybe had some infantry attacking these 2 forests where the scouts are, he could use his Leos as fire support. But yeah. And we have that Deagle going across the map. I guess he's going for a CV snipe. We'll see if he gets it. Not really. We do have an attack coming from Mr. Kim, going for Alpha, it looks like. With only 17 minutes on the clock, he really needs to do something fast. Especially with this kind of skirmishing going on at the top. You know, he's just forced to invest points in there as well, which is detracting from his main offensive, which should be Alpha at this point. Or maybe Delta as well, if you can push him out of here. It can also work out. I don't know the maths though, if it would result in a victory or whatever. Here we go, the assault is beginning. Looks like he also has a CV up, going for Alpha, so he seems confident. And that's good. And considering there's really nothing in between Kim's forces and Dirty CV, I think this will end really well for him in Alpha, at least. If he can manage to hold on to it for the rest of the game, would be a decisive victory. So he really needs to pull this attack off right now. Also probing him in Delta, that's always good. I think he killed the CV. Yep, Cassiope got it. So Mr.Kim at a +3. Looks like Dirty has taken note of his absence of troops here and moving the CV to a safer location. So that +3 should be only momentary. That's not even a word, is it? Oh, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Should be temporal, is what I wanted to say. As soon as he gets it back, it's only going to be a +1, and even that is temporal as long as he can just maintain this area here, and looks like he can, even though a bomber here would be completely devastating. But that's the problem with Eurocore. All your bombers are pretty useless. You know, I'm not a fan of the IDS. Maybe the Mirage 3s are pretty good, the Napalm ones, but I don't know. As I said, I don't really play Eurocore that much. They're just kind of bland, in my opinion. And their motorized deck sucks. And you know I'm all about that moto. But, yeah, I was mistaken. That +3 will last now, considering Mr. Kim has got a CV of his own up in here. So there's a possibility of him coming back in this game. And that Deagle going for more CV sniping, looks like. Does he get the CV this time? I feel like this bomber would have been much more useful here instead of sniping CVs. I don't think I saw that Deagle in this game do an actual frontline bombing so far. Maybe he's scared of AA, but I mean, there's no AA at all. A Mistral is not going to kill a Deagle, and he really needs that now because +3 it's a lot of pressure. Considering Fallschirmjägers are absolute bosses in towns, yeah, that Deagle could have been much more useful here rather than trying to snipe CVs, which really doesn't benefit you in this situation. Even if you manage to get Hotel, Mr. Kim will be at a +2, and then he's just gonna buy another CV, so I don't know. Could definitely push up a lot more aggressive in Alpha, but he doesn't know that there's nothing here. And yeah, the problem with attacking this town like this, when you don't have this corridor secured, is you can easily get cut off and flanked here. So your best bet is normally to just go straight down this road and split here and here. You can cover this forest and this forest as well, especially considering he has a presence here. If you can plop some fire support to watch this road here, you can also cut off that reinforcement point. Because yeah, attacking like this is a bit awkward since your opponent has this forest and this forest here, and you're kind of smashed in between. So it can be tricky to pull off, but he's ticking up the points, he's catching up, so he must be doing something right. We'll see if he can maintain that position. It's really vital for him at this point in the game. Although, looks like he's forced to retreat. Most of his forces were wiped out. Yeah, as I said, he's just a really nice concave by Dirty. It's just really easy to assault a town that way, especially with all the fire support that he has. And Mr. Kim's forces are kind of concentrated here, not really doing anything. He will attempt to counterattack though, so we'll see how that ends. And here comes the plane train, I guess. Let me guess, going for CV sniping. Because what else would you use your planes for? I mean, duh. Close air support, what's that? Does not manage to take that CV out. He is at a +1, however, but mostly because Delta hasn't been decapped yet. Although it should be momentarily. So at this point it looks pretty even. Yeah, it looks like Mr. Kim might get a draw if the points stay this way. But there's 11 more minutes on the clock, so who knows, maybe something crazy will happen. Have to wait and see. Mirage does go down. It looks like itself was also going for CV sniping, but CV moved from there a long time ago. And this push, I think, is just too little, too late at this point. I mean, there's a lot of units now fortifying this alpha corridor. Although the bottom is still pretty much unsecured, but as I said already, there's no way of knowing that. But you should always be as aggressive as you can, though. Of course, not overextend, but you know, take every opportunity you can. Nothing happening on the top again, so that back and forth was interesting, but ultimately didn't really result in anything. Yeah, it's usually the case for this map. Always happening here. And we have 4 mortars being called out for the sole purpose of killing that CV, but Mr. Kim takes note of that and he'll move it slightly in the open. Which might seem like a bad idea, but he's so far up in Delta, he knows that his opponent cannot really see that. So if you can kind of judge that, that's a really smart place to put your CV, especially if it's in the forest, then everybody knows that it might as well be there. So good little dodge, of course. And we have more troops going for Delta. Looks like he might want to recapture that. Which at this point, I don't know if it's too hard or, well, I mean, there's a lot of troops there, but they're very blobbed up. And if he's really persistent, I mean, all he has to do is just take a small bit of forest. If he can manage to do that, it will end well for him. Of course, still probing his opponent at the bottom here, which is a good idea. Attacking in multiple fronts is usually desired, since while it can be micro-intensive, it also forces your opponent to be micro-intensive on multiple sides. It does, however, stretch your points, but yeah, you know, sometimes you just gotta judge for yourself if it's worth the hassle, really. And we do have this push happening in Delta now. Looks like the CV has been spotted and is thus moving away. And these Fallschirmjäger just messing stuff up here. We have planes being called out defensively, so it looks like this thing here will just, yep, gets completely annihilated. So Dirty maintains that. Did he just? No, that was actually the Mirage. Never mind. I thought he bombed his own units. He kind of did with the napalm, but that's not that bad. Still trying to snipe that CV. Oh, persistence. Yeah, that push not being that successful. I think he just needed more troops in general. Although with all those bombers that Dirty has, it's not going to be that easy to attack on a narrow corridor. He really needs this town before he does anything, in both Delta and Alpha, I think. This is a really crucial position. But yeah, both players playing really defensively so far, considering that they're tied. I think they're tied. As I already said, I'm really shit with math, so if I'm wrong, you're welcome to yell at me. But yeah, considering there's only 6 minutes left and both players are not really doing anything panicky to maybe snipe CVs or get some point lead, I don't really know what they're doing. Mr. Kim is aggressive, but I don't think he's really aggressive enough in Delta. He really needs all of his units attacking here, or maybe trying to last ditch effort in Alpha or something of the sorts. And same with Dirty. I mean, he's trying to maintain Delta, maybe hoping for a draw, I don't know. But if he can maintain that, that would be good for him. You never want to lose zones in Conquest, obviously. And Highlanders coming in. We'll see how they fare against these Fallschirmjägers. So yeah, looks like Mr. Kim is now taking up. Has a nice presence in Delta. These Grizzlies trying to go for the CV snipe, but I don't think they're gonna get it. Although, considering there's so many Highlanders with the gunship support, this half of the zone is going to go back to blue momentarily. And now they're very tied. You can see it's only a 4-point difference. Both players have to do something, and they have to do something fast, because yeah, there's only 4 minutes left. Looks like the CV has been chased off from Delta, but it will go back, giving Mr. Kim a +1 lead until Dirty can get a CV on his own, sorry, which does not seem to be happening so far. Yeah, this might prove to be very hurtful to Dirty. Mr. Kim is slowly but surely taking the lead. And here comes the plane train. This is both beautiful and infuriating at the same time because, well, first of all, just a lot of planes doing plane shit, which looks cool, and it's annoying because when you face this, there's really not much you can do about this. Especially if you only have a Mistral squad. But once again, as all of Dirty's previous CV sniping efforts, they come up empty-handed. Mr. Kim did manage to save a CV and is now almost 10 points in the lead. I think he needs like 26.8 or something. That would be like 27 points or something to be in the lead. So if he can maintain Delta, he should be good. But we do have this Cassiope sneaking past, and not a lot of AA here at all. I don't even think he has spotted that. Yep. Cassiope completely managed to flank through. I mean, this is a pretty huge gap. That's a pretty huge gap, not gonna lie. But yeah, as predicted, Dirty manages to take his half of Delta back. He's trying to push an last-ditch effort with Canadian rifles moving over the open field, M8s as well, but I do want to pay attention to this here though, because while everything's happening here, does Dirty know about this? No, he spots it now, which is already too late. I mean, he can get a DAP or something. I don't know if he's out though. He has one DAP that's out of ammo. But we'll see how he reacts. Although he's making really good progress in Delta. He's managed to push. Has a decent force combination, although it's just dying. But, you know, that's the nature of Wargame. And Cassiope managed to find the transport for the CV, but it's going to assume that the CV is there, and here we go. CV reveals itself. Mr. Kim has Delta. And Dirty loses Bravo, so this is a pretty dramatic turn of events at 1 minute 40 seconds left to go. And this Cassiope is just still running amok freely with nothing to counter it. And that +2 at this stage is just It's huge. The mortars go down as well, and looks like the CV and Alpha will go down as well to that Cassiope. So Cassiope actually saving the game, killing 2 CVs, delaying reinforcements obviously, and with 1 minute left to go, I don't think Dirty has really a chance to get this back. He has the CV in Delta, but he has no way to deal with the Cassiope, and even if he does manage to take Bravo back, he's, yeah, a +3 advantage is not easy to come back from with 50 seconds left. So I think this is game. Well, I hope you guys like that. Let me know how I did in the comments, because yeah, this was my first time doing this, so I most likely sucked and you all probably stopped watching this 40 minutes ago. But yeah, if you have any replays of your own you'd like me to cast, I'll leave my email address in the description thing, whatever. I don't really care about different skill levels. As long as it's a good game, just send it to me, I'll take a look, and if I like it, I'll cast it, I guess. So yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.